every once in a while, a movie comes along that just immediately cements itself into the film history books. And if you're a filmmaker or somebody who really enjoys film, I think you'll find this interesting. And so I decided I'm going to make a little video about it, give my 2 cents. But Francis Ford Coppola, the director of The Godfather, Apocalypse Now. Apocalypse Now is one of the greatest war films, if not one of the greatest films ever made. Definitely, if you have not seen it, go watch the theatrical version of Apocalypse Now and then watch the documentary Hearts of Darkness. It shows you why that movie technically should not exist. But Francis Ford Coppola is 85 years old, and he self-financed a $120 million movie. This movie is apparently so batshit crazy and such a huge creative gamble that he hasn't even secured distribution in the US yet. He's apparently secured distribution internationally, and I believe IMAX came out and said, "We'll show your movie." And so, hell yeah, I'm probably gonna go see this in IMAX, even though they got the crappier seats at the theater I go to. It'll be worth it because I'm seeing Francis Ford Coppola's probably last film in IMAX. But just everything about this movie just makes me curious what we're actually going to see when it comes out. It just premiered at Cannes, and it's sitting right now at a 50% on Rotten Tomatoes, which means it's literally split down the middle. It seems like half of critics think this movie is a respectable, visionary piece of art from one of the greatest directors ever made, and the other half seems to think it is a confused, batshit crazy mess from a director who has lost his mind. Or I've seen all kinds of crazy little headlines and stuff, but either way, I think that we just don't see a director self-finance a movie with that kind of budget. It just doesn't happen. Every once in a while you see a director like M. Night Shyamalan go, "Yeah, nobody wanted to work with me, so I mortgaged my house and I took the $1.5 million and I made a movie." $120 million. We are talking about a studio level movie with no studio interference. That never happens. Literally never happens. And so whether this movie is a batshit crazy mess or it's a respectable but confusing piece of art, I thought it would be worth saying something about it, because hopefully one person, if you know, they see this video and they go, "Yeah, you know what? That is respectable. I'm gonna go support this film as well." Or I'm going to look into Francis. If somebody watches this and they go watch Apocalypse Now because I made this video, I feel like I've done something, because Francis Ford Coppola is one of those directors who approaches a project and he always manages to pull things off that nobody else can with less money. And there's a documentary, or sorry, not a documentary. There's a mini series called The Offer, which is like a dramatized version of what happened when they were making The Godfather. And that's another perfect example of how, you know, Francis Ford Coppola shows up and does something that most filmmakers would look at and go, "Yeah, that can't be done." Apocalypse Now on its own is something that shouldn't exist. I mean, Marlon Brando, one of the greatest actors ever, literally shows up, and I think he was only allowed to be on set for 3 weeks according to his contract, and he literally just didn't prepare. And you go and watch that movie, and if you did not know that, I genuinely think you would just think it was on purpose, the way that movie is executed in the third act. But I mean, he literally had to work with Marlon Brando, who didn't read the source material. He didn't memorize his lines. And I mean, you can see in that documentary, it's kind of funny at times. Like, you know, just watching this great actor basically wing it. But I think Francis Ford Coppola may have just made his last movie, and people are split down the middle, and it's a $120 million passion project gamble. You know, like I think he made this movie thinking, I don't care if I make the money back because I'm not going to live much longer anyways, so who cares if I he's gone bankrupt before because of a movie. I can't remember which one, but I think we are literally witnessing film history. I think it's crazy that we're going to see a $120 million movie like this. And Shia LaBeouf is like the main antagonist or something. Like, he's a central character. I know that. And I mean, if you know anything about Shia LaBeouf's track record, I don't think a lot of studios are willing to bet on him. I think they look at him as a risk. I could be wrong, but thinking with my own brain, I could see how they might think that. And so we're seeing Shia LaBeouf apparently give an amazing performance, because I think he's an amazing actor, in this big $120 million sci-fi drama passion project from one of the greatest directors ever, quite possibly his last hurrah. And I think that's worth dropping in here and giving my little 2 cents about it, and hopefully exposing a few people who wouldn't otherwise know much about it, or just shrug it off as like, I don't know what Megalopolis is. So yeah, I will definitely be making content when that movie comes out about it, so stay tuned for that. We don't even know when this movie is going to come out because it doesn't have distribution yet, but go watch Apocalypse Now if you haven't. I'm serious. The movie's phenomenal, and just you can see how it's shaped adventure and road trip films ever since. But use GFUEL code DannyD. I'm gonna hop off of here. I don't know what I'm doing with these videos, but let's discuss in the comments. I really want to know what you guys think about this. If anybody cares about this, I will also link the teaser trailer down below so you can see how batshit crazy it looks. But film history, people, it's literally something you never see. So it gets me excited.